What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Kai TV. Welcome back to another video, man. It's not our usual setup today, but nevertheless, do me a favor, go down and hit that subscribe button, man. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. Give this video a thumbs up, man. I'm super excited, man. This is my first PC build, man. Definitely wanted to get a PC for the longest time to improve the quality for my streaming that I'm finna get into. And just improve everything else overall, man. I wanted to put it at my gaming station for editing, streaming, you know, for the overall setup. I think PC definitely is, you know, it brings some cool aesthetics. You know, definitely one of the bigger competitors in the gaming industry. A lot of people prefer PC over console, but man, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Let's see what we got here. All these goodies on the table, man. Let's start off with the small stuff first. We got our keyboard right here. We got the Corsair K55 RGB keyboard. You know, nothing too major, man. Something slight. Got that nice little keyboard right there. It has 3 zones for RGB, so you can control those. It doesn't have RGB by individual keys, so you know you lose a little bit of customization, but that's not really that big of a deal to me. We got the mouse right here. We got the Corsair M65 RGB Elite mouse. To be honest, man, I don't even know how much mouse and keyboard I'm gonna be using to game on PC. I might just stick with the controller because I just think that's what I'm better at. I got big hands, so it might be a little harder for me to do keyboard and mouse. But let's continue, man. We got some RGB strips, man, magnetic, so you don't have to worry about sticking nothing on the inside of your case. You know, you never can have enough for RGB lights. You know, we got some more memory here, man. We got a 2 terabyte hard drive right here. We got our SSD drive. This is also 1 terabyte. We got our RAM. This is also RGB. You want at least 16 gigabytes of RAM. You know what I'm saying? Help with the speeds and everything. We got our installation of Microsoft Office, Microsoft Home, all that good stuff. You know, we got another fan, man. You can never have enough fans in your builds. Also RGB, control the lights with the softwares and everything. Our case, we're gonna get into this last, man, because I'm super excited about this case. So we're gonna wait for the case. We got our power supply right here, the MB750G. It's a 750 watt power supply, 80 plus gold. You know what I'm saying? It's always stick with 80 plus gold no matter what power supply you go with, because those will be better quality for you. It's also fully modular, and what that means is any unnecessary cords that we don't need to have plugged in, we won't need to have them plugged in. It'll help a lot with our cable management for the build. We got our motherboard here, man. We got the Aorus B550 Pro. That's the motherboard we're gonna rock out with today. It has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all the good stuff. USB-C, all those good ports. We got our CPU cooler, man, our liquid cooler. Also RGB, 2 fans. I think this was a great pickup. You know, definitely gonna bring a nice look on the inside once we get to the finished product. And then second to last, man, we got our graphics card. We got the GeForce RTX 2060, our graphics card, man. And then second to last, we got our Ryzen 7 3700X. That's our processor. And now, man, we got all the things that's gonna make up the PC. Let's get into the case. All right, man, let's dive right into the case. Don't drown on me, y'all. We got the classic plastic butter knife to open it up. We gotta get us a knife, a nice knife for unboxing videos, man. Because this ain't it. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get this bad boy open if we don't break it. For the case, we got the Lancool 2, the Lian Lancool 2 mesh. It comes with 3 RGB fans in the front. Let's go ahead and crack her open. There we go. All right, guys, this is the case. I think it looks very, very dope. It has the tempered glass look in the front and the back. It's also held by magnets, so you can easily open up the case up front. You pull it down, it's magnetic, and you open it up. Get everything you need on the inside. You can also remove these doors. It's the same way in the back. Magnetic. Open up the other door on the other side. So everything you need back here is in the back. It's magnetic. Easy pull down. Open up the door. These are your cable management, blockers. Hide your cables a little bit. Keep everything organized. You can take it out with the screw here, screw up here. Gets all your cables managed and situated first, and then you put these cable covers back on. And yeah, man, it's time to hop into the build. We're gonna take these panels off. We're gonna take the two tempered glass panels off. We're gonna start putting everything in, man. So let's get to it. All right, guys. First things first, before we get into the motherboard, you want to make sure you are grounded to something, because any static buildup in your body can mess up the components inside of your motherboard. So make sure you touch some metal. If you don't have an anti-static bracelet, you can ground yourself by touching metal. If you're on carpet, do not wear socks. And the first thing we're going to do is install our CPU. Here's our gold indicator arrow letting us know which way the CPU is going to face on our motherboard. There's also another golden arrow on your motherboard because you do not want to break these gold pins right here. And you line it up with the golden arrow on your motherboard so it's facing the right direction. You do not want to press down on this, man. You just want to kind of move it until it drops into place like it just did. And then next thing you want to do, give it a slight little wiggle, make sure it's in place, and then push the lever back down and lock it into place. Next thing we're going to be doing, we're going to install our memory. Go ahead and grab that. So for the installation of the memory, you're going to unscrew this bracket right here, remove that. Next thing, there's another screw right there. That's where the memory is going to sit and hold, right there where I'm taking the screw at right here. Okay, so you want to get your memory, make sure it fits in there. Give it a nice little push in, it'll snap into place. You want to push down on it slightly and then screw it back into place. Once that's nice and tight, not too tight, but pretty firm, you want to take the adhesive off the back of this because it is going to protect your memory. You want to take that off, and then you want to screw this back into place. So next thing we're going to install is our RAM. Our RAM is also RGB. Like I said earlier, you want to make sure you have at least 16 gigs of RAM. Since we have 16 gigs, each stick is 8. So more than likely it's going to go in the second and the fourth slot, but make sure you check your motherboard to make sure that's where it needs to go. You don't want to just fill 1 and 2. It goes in the second and the fourth slot. You want to pull the levers back on each end and then put it in the slot and then push it down. It'll slide, it'll click right into place when it's in. If it's not fitting, try flipping it around the other way and then it should go in. So now we have our RAM installed. Now we have prepped our motherboard to be put inside of our case. Next thing you want to do, you want to line it up with the holes and make sure the standoffs line up with your motherboard. And if they do, you can go ahead and get to screwing those bad boys in. Also, make sure if your motherboard doesn't come with a pre-installed IO shield, you pop that bad boy into place before you screw the motherboard in. Mine already had it, so I didn't have to put it in place. I could just go ahead and screw my motherboard right in. All right, guys, so it's time to speed things up. At this point in the build, it's time to install our cables, install our case cables and everything else we need, install our fans, hook all those cables up. So make sure you follow your motherboard instructions very closely, and then we'll come back when we get a little further. Okay, guys, so at this point, we're installing the fans on our CPU cooler, our liquid cooler, and then we'll come back and show you guys what that looks like once we get that installed. We just mounted the CPU cooler up top, the cover back on. We just put it over the processor, screwed it in. Now we got to get the cables managed. Everything is coming along. All right, guys, everything is coming along fantastic. We've got our fans installed. We've done a little bit of cable management, cleaned everything up. We've got our CPU cooler put in. Now the next step is to put our graphics card in, and then we got our RGB LED light strip, and here's also the slot for your memory, so don't forget to install that if you have extra memory. Okay, so the installation for the graphics card is very simple. You unscrew the second and third of those side brackets that was underneath my fan, and then you click it into place just like we did the RAM and screw it back in. Here's a little bit of our cable management. It's kind of messy, but it's okay. We'll come back and fix it later. Okay, man, everything's looking pretty clean. We've thrown back on our covers for our cable management. Everything's looking good. We're just about done with the build, man. It's time to put the panels back on, put the doors back on. You know what I'm saying? You line them up over the pins and then you just push them down. As simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Get the paper peeled off. I'm gonna leave the outside paper back on just in case I have to go back in and fix anything. So I don't want to rip that off yet. Look at that, man. So satisfying. Woo! This build is coming along, man. Fingers crossed everything goes as planned. Here's the front of it. Everything is looking pretty good. Throw the front door back on. There we go. Shut that bad boy. Pull off the sticker on the Corsair logo on the CPU cooler. That's looking good. Close her up. Now it's time to plug her in, man. Make sure you already have your Windows drive plugged in before you turn it on. Here we go, man. The first test. We seen some light there, so fingers crossed, hopefully everything's good. And there it is, man. Our first build has been successful, but we need to make sure we get a boot up screen. And there we go, man. Our first build was a success. We got our Windows screen. Let's go through these. You want to go ahead and go through all of these settings. I'm going to show you guys the proper things to select when going through this initial boot up. All right, so sorry for the shakiness of the mouse. I don't have a mouse pad yet, so it's kind of all over the place. I'm gonna go ahead and click next, install now. Waiting for this bad boy to do what it do. If you have a code for this, type in your Windows code. You're gonna go ahead and key that in right now. Click next. Okay, accept the terms. We're not going to read through all of this stuff. Accept, click next. And then you want to go ahead and click custom because we want to select our driver where Windows is going to be installed. I mean, It's really up to you where you want it to be installed at. If you have two different spaces for memory, then you can choose where you want it to be, but we're gonna go ahead and put it on our SD drive. You know what I'm saying? The larger one is our 2 terabyte drive that we installed. So we'll go ahead and click the bottom one and put it on our SD. Click next. It's gonna go through that and do all that good stuff. And at this point, guys, we're gonna wrap things up in the video. You just continue through the Windows setup, put in all your information, sign into your account, and once you sign in, man, the next thing you're gonna do is install all your drivers. Your audio drivers, all the drivers you need for your processor, Windows drivers, and your motherboard drivers. So you want to go to the website for that. We have Ryzen, so I'll go to the Ryzen website, install the drivers for that. I'll go to look up my motherboard, install the drivers for that, and that'll wrap things up, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to see a more in-depth video where I go step by step and show you guys where everything goes, how to install your cords, where all that stuff plugs in, how to install all of your drivers, let me know down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed our first successful build, man. Very pumped. I have made some changes to the build since then, so I'll give you guys a more updated look of what that looks like at the end. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, man, if you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next video, man. I'll see y'all with the next one. Peace.